I can kind of breathe and my eyes aren't too watery. Good to see you guys. Happy Tuesday. The topic yesterday was the rather astonishing mention that you don't really need to have a brain to be a conscious being, but it's a good thing to have while we're here. And one of the examples I used was people in their near-death experiences, how when the body dies and the activity of the brain completely ceases, their experience doesn't terminate or halt. It actually goes through astonishing transformation, expansion, increase, revelation, understanding, yada, 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 in technical terms. So, oh man, being human is fun. So, isn't that weird? It's like, what's up with these brain things? Well, here's what I'm thinking today. It's like, we're on Earth, right? Yes, we're on Earth. And this means we certainly are corporeal beings. We are three-dimensional on Earth, and we have these bodies that roam around and do their thing for X amount of time. And to do that, you got to have a body and a brain and a nervous system. So the brain is this. Are you coming up here for once? Or did you just come in to have a hairball? Come on. What a fascinating channel this is. Anyway, these brains that we have, they're magnificent instruments to guide us around Earth and its various adventures and proximities. And well, I suppose the brain could be a wonderful instrument, but it also can just really screw things up. In other words, your brain, my brain, everyone's brain is to some degree or the other either allowing, accommodating, and facilitating life and life force to move in and through it and to express in the world, or your brain, my brain, everybody's brain is to some degree acting as a knot or a plug or a disturbed, disrupted filter, just taking pure life force and, just turning it into hell. And so that's why the Earth demonstrates these astonishing variables of experience. Now, here's an interesting thought that I'm going to talk a little bit about psychedelics. And so, disclaimer, am I recommending using psychedelics? I don't know. It's your life. But one of the interesting things they've discovered about psychedelics, well, first of all, psychedelics are the most powerful drugs ever discovered in the history of mankind. In other words, they're the pills that mother gave you that don't do anything at all, to quote Jefferson Airplane. But then there are drugs that really mess with reality, I guess we might say. And so scientists have often wondered why it is that psychedelics do this to our brain. And they thought for many years that psychedelics really activated the brain. They got it really going. It opened up parts of the brain and made the brains fire in ways that were unusual or much larger and grander. But that ain't the case. They discovered through the use of fMRI and shoving people into fMRI machines on psychedelics that's not the case at all. In fact, quite the opposite. Psychedelics actually act to inhibit brain activity. We might really be onto something now. Aren't you glad you tuned in? Let's take a brief moment to like and subscribe, shall we? Looney and I really appreciate it when all you YouTubers like and subscribe. All my local friends support me. Thank you so much. Much love. But those of you on YouTube, thanks for liking and subscribing. But anyway, I digress. The psychedelics inhibit the brain, meaning it kind of shuts it down. So, wow, that's kind of like dying. Psychedelics actually get our brain out of the way and open up vast vistas of understanding, perception, perspective, and reality that otherwise are entirely off limits to us. Well, We should probably run out and get some psychedelics right now and eat big handfuls every single day. Mm, Probably not. You know what Carl Jung said? He said, be aware of unearned wisdom. So that may not be the plan, but here's a plan. How else could we inhibit the activity of our brain without having to have a near death experience? Those are challenging. Or eat handfuls of psychedelics every day. Tune in tomorrow. No, we meditate. Meditating quiets our mind down. Simply put, I could go into way more technical jargon and language. I could make a bunch of stuff up, but what's the point of that? The point is that unless we begin to manage and realize we have a brain and our brain is either being a nasty knot that's blocking the flow of love, joy and ecstasy through us, or our brain is a wonderful channel, a beautiful instrument tuned in like a brilliant radio or TV receiver, allowing the best of life to flow in and through us, then in the absence of that realization, we're stuck. But we don't have to be anymore. Our brains are magnificent instruments, but not unless they're tuned finely. And the best way to tune our brain is to meditate and let its activity quell and quiet so that all the, I almost said shitty software and ideas and concepts and opinions and sensations and memories quiet down so that the fullness of life can actually appear. Well, when could this happen? Now? Today? Okay, use your brain wisely. See you guys tomorrow.